This is a short overview of program integration with FamilySearch Family Tree. There are basically three levels of integration. Read integration allows a program to access information on your ancestors. This allows the importing of tree information into a computer program, allows the information to be used and analyzed and displayed in different ways, and allows a view of the list of changes. Write integration allows information on FamilySearch Family Tree to be updated. This allows the adding, deleting, and updating of individual information, participation in discussion threads, and moving information and sources between FamilySearch and the computer program. LDS feature support allows the viewing of ordinance statuses, reserving and printing ordinance requests, assigning ordinances to others and tracking their progress, and transferring ordinance information to and from the program. These programs are all certified for read-write and LDS feature support: Ancestor Quest, Legacy, Mac Family Tree, and Roots Magic. All four programs will let you import a tree from FamilySearch, view and add to discussions, view changes and sources, link a person on FamilySearch to an individual in the program, and check for duplicates and merge if necessary, and to move information on the person to and from FamilySearch Family Tree, although Mac Family Tree does not allow you to move ordinance information. Ancestral Quest, Legacy, and Roots Magic will let you manage and track temple submittals. I'm next going to show some examples of these types of integration, although I'm not going to show examples of every type on every program. First, importing a tree from FamilySearch Family Tree. In Ancestral Quest, you have the option of downloading up to 100 generations, including families and spouses of children. In Legacy, you can choose how many generations of ancestors, how many generations of descendants you want to download, and also whether you want to include spouses of children, check for duplicates, and include temple ordinances. In Mac Family Tree, you're limited to 5 generations, but you can choose all connected persons, only ancestors, or only descendants. In Roots Magic, you can choose the number of generations of ancestors you want to download and the number of generations of descendants. All the programs allow the viewing and adding to discussions and are pretty similar. This is an example from Mac Family Tree, but basically you can look at the discussion, you can add comments, or respond to comments, or add a new discussion. All of the programs also let you look at changes in the contributor. This is an example from Mac Family Tree where you click on the change history and can look at the change and then click on contributor if you want to see who contributed. Sources are also pretty similar between the different programs. Basically, you can see the sources in your program, and you can look at the sources in FamilySearch and choose if you want to bring them back and forth. So if you click on a source you want to move over, you're then in general given the option of tagging that source as to what fact is attached to that source. Mac Family Tree is the one program that's a little bit different. In it you can look at the sources, but you can't move them to the program. You can, however, look at hints and move them to the program. So on Mac Family Tree, I can look at the sources that are in my source box and I can attach them to a particular individual, or I can add a new source, but I can't move the source to my program on my computer. There is an option to look at record hints. And if I do that, I do have the option of moving those record hints to my program. So if I click on hints, I can review the hints and then decide if I want to download them. So my choices are that I can add the source to the individual on FamilySearch, or I can add the source to my person on my file. I'm next going to talk about linking duplicates and merging. And I'm going to mainly focus on legacy because it has a little bit more capability and features than the other programs, although they're somewhat similar. So this is the initial view that you would see upon opening legacy. I've expanded the view so you can see these symbols which are associated with FamilySearch. You can tell if a person's linked, if the temple work is done, and the symbol with the two little people there means there's potentially duplicates for this person. So if you click on the area where the symbols are, it gives you a screen that looks like this. On the left is the list of individuals, which are 5 generations of ancestors from the person that you clicked on. Now you have a number of different options for filtering that list. I've expanded this so you can see it. But basically you can sort on or filter on things like ordinances in process, whether they're synced to FamilySearch or not, whether there's possible duplicates for this individual, whether the ordinances are complete, ready, or in process, things like that. So this is very useful in that you can easily tell which individuals potentially have duplicates that you need to review. So it's much simpler than looking at each one individually. So I've expanded this. In this case, you can see that I've chosen to only look for possible duplicates, and then that leaves me with the people I need to review. And this is one thing that I didn't find in the other programs. So before you can check for duplicates, you first have to link the person to someone in FamilySearch. So if you choose an individual, it will go out and look and see if there's close matches. So you review the two people, and if it looks like that they're probably the same person, you would click on the button where it says this person is the same as mine. And at that point, it will link the two. So at this point, if there are potential duplicates, I'll see them under the potential duplicates section, and then I can choose one or more of those at a time to review. So if I decide that one of them is the same, I would click on the same person button. So this would bring up a screen where I can compare the potential duplicate person to my person. So my person's on the left, potential duplicates on the right. So to move information from the person on the right to the person on the left, I simply click on whatever I want to move. The column on the right shows a preview of what the merged person's information is going to look like. Now one thing I want to point out is in this case, the two individuals have a spouse with the same name and a child of the same name, but they have different ID numbers. So these are also going to have to be merged later. So as I said, Ancestral Quest, Legacy, and Roots Magic all allow temple tracking. And they're all somewhat similar. So you can look at the status. You can reserve and print ordinances. You can look at the ordinances that you've previously reserved. And you can look at the status of ordinances which you've shared with the church in a couple of different ways, and the status of ordinances which you've printed. Some of the programs also allow you to look at your data in different ways. So this is from Mac Family Tree, and it's a chart of the age at death. This shows the father's age at the time of birth of his first child. This shows how some of the individuals have migrated. And this is a 3D view of a family tree. So the takeaway of this is that if you like to transfer your family tree data from FamilySearch, these programs would allow you to do that. Some programs may make it easier to do some tasks, such as combining duplicates. Most offer a different user interface into FamilySearch if that's desired, and most offer additional ways of viewing your data. I'm now going to talk briefly about Ancestry.com. So Ancestry.com is not a computer program nor really a web app. After uploading or moving your family tree into a tree on Ancestry.com, you can link individuals. After linking, you can move additional ancestors from FamilySearch to the tree on Ancestry.com. Also, after linking, you can move sources back and forth between Ancestry.com and FamilySearch. So if you're a member of the church and you've signed up for Ancestry.com, you link it to your FamilySearch account, and then you can open up Ancestry.com, go to Trees, and at the bottom is an option to import your tree from FamilySearch, and you can use that to start a tree on Ancestry.com from your family tree on FamilySearch. It will then have you log into FamilySearch if you have not already done that. You can then give a name to your tree and also choose whether you want other people to view the tree or not. As I said before, one reason for letting other people view the tree is that other people that are working on your line might contact you and either ask for information from you or potentially give you additional information on the line you're looking at. And it shows you a little status of the amount completed as it's getting the information from FamilySearch. You now select who the home person is, and in general that's probably going to be you. So at this point it has loaded the family tree in, and I've gone to the end of a line. So there's Daniel C. Lovett, and he has no parents in this case. So I'm going to go to the facts view, and then he's already connected to the person in FamilySearch because he was imported. So what I now need to do is add relatives. So I click on the little tree symbol that gives you a drop-down menu, and I'm going to choose Add Relatives from FamilySearch. Okay, and I'm going to choose to add up to 4 generations for this person. And you can see here that Daniel Clinton Lovett does now have parents. And if I go back to the family tree view, I can see he has parents and grandparents and whatnot that were added. So I'm next going to show about moving sources back and forth. So you go up to the little tree symbol, which is the symbol for FamilySearch, and you click on that. This brings up a screen that looks like this. So if it had found a match on FamilySearch that looked the same as your person, you could choose that person. If not, in this case, I know the ID on FamilySearch that I want to match to, and so I just entered that. I then can connect the person. So at this point, I see the little tree symbol has a check mark by it, which says they're linked. And I have a number of choices. I can look at ordinance details, I can view the person in FamilySearch, I can add relatives from FamilySearch like I showed before, or I can compare the person, which is what I'm going to do. So I get a screen like this. On the left is what is in FamilySearch, and on the right is in what is in my tree that's on Ancestry.com. And so I can scroll down, and if there's a better date or better information in one than the other, I just click on the box to move it over to the other place. So I'm going here and just clicking on some items that are on FamilySearch and moving those sources over to the tree that's on Ancestry.com. And I continue to do that, and then I can go down if there's some on Ancestry.com that are not on FamilySearch, like in this case Find a Grave. I click on that and it will move it over to FamilySearch, and then I just save changes. So that gets me back to my person view on Ancestry.com, and I'm going to go back up to the little tree symbol and click on it, and then go look at the person on FamilySearch, which will take me to the FamilySearch website, so where I can look at the individual and scroll down and see the new source. So if I click on the link to open it up, and then I click on the URL and go to it, I essentially go over to Ancestry.com. where I can look at it. And this is how the integration between Ancestry.com and FamilySearch works. I'm next going to show you about some web-based certified apps. These apps run on your browser and in general only read your data. They can allow you to filter your tree information in ways not possible inside FamilySearch, and they can generate reports and displays that are not possible in FamilySearch. The first one is Baby Ancestry. It searches your tree to find which names were most common in your family. You can also click to look at the individual people in FamilySearch, and you can click on a link to see about the origin of the name, and it's free to use. And this is what some of the displays look like in the program. This next one is Eternal Reminder. Its purpose is to remind you when an ancestor reaches 110 years since their birth. You can set up to receive emails when this happens, and it is also free. This next one is called History Lines. Once you've selected an individual from your tree, it will create a narrative of their life, including descriptions of where they lived and the historical events happening around them. There's a free trial that allows you to do 2 people. Then it costs $9.99 a month or $59 a year to use the service. This is one that was done for one of my ancestors, and it goes on for many, many pages. This next one is called Hope Chest. It searches either forward or backward from an individual for people who have temple work that could be done or need more information. You can choose what to save based on ordinances, gender, whether permission is required. It only runs on the Google Chrome browser. The basic version is free, but you cannot save to a folder. For a small upgrade cost, you can set up folders to store your results in. So once you've installed the extension into Google Chrome, you then see a little Hope Chest once you've logged into FamilySearch. So if you then click on the Hope Chest icon, you get a pull-down menu, and you can choose to search on the descendants of the person that you're focused on in the family tree. You have to be in the family tree view, and this is kind of what it looks like when it's stepping through your family tree looking for things. So when Hope Chest finishes, you see something like this. There's a list of people who have temple ordinance work that needs to be done. This next program is called Kin Mapper, and it can map where your ancestors live. It loads up to 8 generations, and it's free. The next one is Pozilla. It's a descendant view that assists you in finding opportunities in descendant lines. The basic service is free. A paid version is $40 and allows you to filter on target dates, people with sources, people with hints, people with possible duplicates, etc. So I'm going to show a little video clip that kind of tells about how it works.
Hello, this is Bill. This video shows how to use Pozilla.org to find new research targets on descendant lines, our cousins. To sign in, click the Sign In button. Submit your FamilySearch credentials to sign in to Family Tree. This is a Pozilla pedigree chart, your ancestor view. You are at the root of the tree. The blue squares represent males in your pedigree, and the red circles represent females. As you move your mouse cursor over these symbols, their names and other information appears. This tree appears to be full. So where do you start? When ancestral lines appear complete, the next place to work is in the other descendants of our ancestors, our cousins. Start by selecting one of these distant ancestors and click on the symbol. We'll select Nathan Warriner. Clicking on the symbol freezes the pop-up so that you can click on the buttons inside. Clicking the X closes the pop-up and returns to browsing mode. But for now, we'll click here to see Nathan Warriner's descendants. These are the descendants of Nathan Warriner. Let me show you what this means. Here we see Nathan Warriner at the root of the tree. Surrounding him are his children, grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. The golden line is your ancestral line between you and the ancestor at the root of the tree. A research target is a person in the tree who might have missing family members you can find. In a descendant view, we see people without children here, and some here, and a whole family here. Did these people not have any children, or are their children missing from the tree? To see the people who are missing requires imagination. Let's take a look at William Warriner. This view helps us visualize them. We don't know who they are yet, but they're there. Our job is to find them and to link them. So one research target criteria is any person without children, or especially several in a family like here. These almost certainly have missing children. We see patterns like that here, and here, and here, many in a descent chart like this. There are other criteria for a good research target. These persons with the yellow squares died before they reached age 16. They wouldn't have children, so we won't look there. Others with the gray square are persons who were born in the last 110 years, in this case 1904. These require permission from the nearest living relatives to do work for them. We avoid these also to keep it simple. Pozilla provides these two buttons in the control panel that allow us to turn these criteria off and on. Other buttons do the same thing. We will talk about them in a minute. Also, using these two buttons causes the other records that do not match our criteria to be shown in a faded color, so that the records that do match our criteria are easier to see. Another criteria is to look for targets in a time and place where records are more available. Records availability depends on the time and location. For example, United States records are more available beginning around 1820. And you may want to start with someone before 1860 so you can find generations of their descendants moving forward from that point up to the 110-year rule. These boundaries suggest only a sweet spot and not an absolute rule. Also, records are good in many countries in other time periods. You might contact an expert for your country of origin to learn more.
The next one is Relative Finder. It uses your tree data to determine if you're related to famous people, stake members, or family members. You can log into the Albuquerque, New Mexico stake group with the password shown to see if you're related to other stake members, and the cost is free. So this is what Relative Finder looks like. And for instance, this shows where Mary Campbell and I are related in the far, far past. This next one is Tree Hints. It searches your ancestors for individuals who have hints on FamilySearch, and you can choose the starting ancestor and the number of generations to search, and the cost is free. So it shows you the results that it finds, and you can see what records it found, and then click and go to the hints in FamilySearch and look at them in detail. The last one I'm going to show is a thing called virtual pedigree, and allows you to scroll through your tree without stopping to load additional generations. And the cost in it is free. So this is what you see when you first go to that website. Then you log into FamilySearch, and then I have a little video that shows what it looks like as you scroll through your family tree using virtual pedigree. So all these programs that I've been discussing can be found in the app gallery. So you can find the app gallery by going to FamilySearch.org and scrolling to the bottom of the web page and clicking on App Gallery, which takes you to the app gallery. So at that point you can filter various ways, but I'm going to look at all categories and just kind of scroll through to show. So these are all the programs that I talked about and many, many more. And you just click on each individual one to either go to get more information on it, or if it's just a web page, it may take you to the web page where you can log into FamilySearch and do whatever that web page allows you to do. And that's it.